Usually when a dog starts barking, it's because of the pesky squirrel in the tree outside the window or the mailman passing by the front yard. It's almost always something you can point your finger at and say, "That's the reason my pooch is losing his mind."
Before we begin, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
This is why one woman was more than confused when her dog started barking at seemingly nothing and wouldn't stop. But as she slowly uncovered the source of her pooch's irritation, it became clear that her life was in danger. When a dog named Kaylee started growling and barking the morning of December 30th, 2016, it wasn't necessarily out of character at first. Behavior problems and trust issues made her a difficult dog to get along with. See, the 3-year-old Shepherd mix didn't have a very happy origin story. She spent months on DeKalb County Animal Services adoption list, waiting for someone to scoop her up and give her a home. But after a year, hope was running out. If she wasn't adopted, Kaylee would be euthanized. But the problem was Kaylee's troubled background meant that she often snapped at people. She wasn't always the calm, trusting dog that families wanted. Too often, humans had let her down. Until one couple saw that she just needed a second chance. Dog owners Keith Santerre Perham and Jacqueline Berlin knew Kaylee was scared of strangers and that a home would put her at ease, so they decided to foster her. Still, they couldn't keep her forever. They knew they needed to convince the world of how amazing Kaylee was. They wanted her to have a real home, where she would feel loved for the rest of her life. So, Jacqueline turned to Facebook. Jacqueline knew that Kaylee needed a very specific kind of owner. Do you like to be alone or just with a close friend? Is an evening at home, cuddling a loved one watching Netflix your idea of bliss? Meet your doggy soulmate, Kaylee, Jacqueline wrote. Jacqueline described Kaylee as a Velcro dog who wants nothing more than to be with you. Kaylee was the perfect match for someone who prefers cozy nights into wild nights on the town. Berlin waited anxiously for a response. Well, Susie Chandler's response would change Kaylee's life. The story of what Kaylee had been through, it just pulled on our heartstrings, Susie said. We just thought we would be the perfect people for her. But only time would tell if Susie's hunch was correct. After bringing Kaylee home, Susie had the lingering doubts that any pet owner would have. Would Kaylee coexist well with her other pets? Would she truly be a good fit with the Chandlers? Or had Kaylee just been through too much? But her fears were soon lifted. Kaylee settled in nicely at her new home and even bonded with Susie's other dog. Instead of being scared, Kaylee started to trust humans again. Because of this, that morning growl in December came as a shock. On that day, Kaylee's demeanor changed suddenly. Though she had only had Kaylee for a short time, Susie knew Kaylee wouldn't just growl for no reason. She was growling and barking consistently throughout the morning, and Susie had no clue why. While it had taken time for Kaylee to warm up to Susie, she was as sweet as any dog. It just didn't make sense. So as Kaylee barked, Susie tried to figure out what to do. Maybe a relaxing walk would help Kaylee calm down? She knew she had to give it a shot, so Susie put Kaylee on a leash and walked outside. Everything looked normal, but Kaylee only barked louder. Susie was more confused than ever, until Kaylee started tugging on her leash. She pulled me directly over to the side yard, Susie said. Right away, I smelled overpowering gas and heard a loud whooshing sound. It suddenly became all too clear what Kaylee was trying to warn Susie about. A gas leaks. By barking and growling, the perceptive dog had been trying to warn Susie all day of a dangerous gas leak in her neighborhood. Finally, Susie knew exactly what she needed to do. Immediately, Susie called 911. I just don't take chances on people's lives like this. It is a dangerous situation. She was right, and if Kaylee hadn't had a Lassie moment, the Chandlers and their neighbors could have been seriously sickened or injured. The neighborhood soon erupted into flashing lights and sirens. While a stunned Susie watched, the firefighters set to work trying to figure out how far the gas leak had spread. The whole time, Kaylee sat and watched, silent for the first time all day. Her story quickly spread across social media in a flurry of praise for the brave pup. The once abandoned dog who had been so close to being euthanized saved numerous lives, and was now being praised as a hero. Susie agreed that Kaylee's deed was heroic. "She is our hero dog," she said proudly. Susie's love for Kaylee was apparent even before Kaylee's heroic act, and she's using Kaylee's fame to spread the word about a very important topic. "If you have room in your heart to take in a needy animal, it comes back to you tenfold," she said, imploring people to look into pet adoption. People like Jacqueline and Susie know just how special and heroic a dog can be. In fact, they might have heard the story of a dog named Patch, who pulled a move similar to Kaylee's. His story started when, like so many kids before them, Andrew and Clara Davis begged their parents to adopt a pooch. Their parents, Nola and Richard, weren't quite ready for a dog. That is until they heard about one recently put up for adoption named Patch, below. Richard recalled the day he and his wife brought Patch home. "We tricked the kids," he said. "We had a dog hidden in the back seat and they couldn't see it. They were looking in there going, 'What is it?' When they finally saw the dog. I just lost it and I started crying 'cause I was so excited," little Clara Davis said, below. Andrew and Clara finally got their wish. They were elated. Patch, meanwhile, joined his new family as though he'd been a part of the Davis clan all along. He fit right in. The family noticed, though, that there was one thing Patch despised. He did not like the water, Andrew said. He didn't like going into the bathtub or in the bathroom or taking his baths. But soon, water was the least of Patch's worries. As puppies are prone to do, Patch grew. And grew. And grew. As he continued to grow, Nola, below, started worrying. Just how big was this little dog going to get? As Patch started to grow, we realized that maybe we had made a mistake, Nola said. He was gonna be a big dog and the house was an awful small house. Andrew lamented the fact, too. We didn't have a big yard, he said. We didn't really have a place for Patch to stay. So, the Davis family discussed their options, some of which were heartbreaking. What if, Nola and Richard said, they gave Patch to another home? One that had enough space for the big pooch to run around and use his energy? A home fit for a canine king. But Andrew refused. I said, no, Andrew said, below. I said I would build a fence or something. The young man's dedication to the dog convinced Nola and Richard to wait a few days before making a final decision. Days later, however, on January 12, 1999, Nola relaxed in the bathtub with the radio turned up to full volume. She was home alone, so she jumped when Patch came running into the bathroom, his least favorite room in the house. Even stranger, Patch ran into the room with a purpose. He sunk his teeth into Nola's dangling arm. What the heck? Had the dog gotten wind of the family's plan to kick him out? Soon, though, Nola realized Patch wasn't biting her, but pulling her. He wanted to show her something. She stepped out of the tub, grabbed a robe, and prepared herself to throw Patch out. But then she saw smoke. She opened the bathroom door and saw the house engulfed in flames. Worse, opening the door sucked the fire into the bathroom, setting that room ablaze, too. Patch and Nola were surrounded by fire. Blinded by smoke, Patch led Nola through the burning home with the skill of a firefighter, turning every so often to make sure she was still following him. Finally, thanks to Patch, she made it to the front yard. Not thinking clearly, Nola wanted to run back into the house to grab her car keys, but Patch blocked the way and pushed her away. He wasn't going to let her face that danger. Seconds later, fire exploded from the windows. The fire, caused by an electrical short, burned everything the Davis family owned to ash. But not Nola, and certainly not Patch. And the dog knew he'd been the hero. He was walking with pride, Clara said. Like, oh, I'm a good dog. He knew he did something, and every time you gave him a treat, he was like, I did this and now I get all the attention. As to whether or not to give Patch away, well, Nola and Richard had an easy answer to that dilemma. The family bought a new home in Montana, one with a yard Patch could play in.